Okay, let's dive in. For the first time in a generation, humanity is actually counting down to a crewed mission around the moon. We are in the final, super high-stakes moments before NASA's Artemis 2 sends astronauts beyond low Earth orbit. So we're going to go inside what that final countdown really truly looks like.
Get this, it's been over 50 years. Seriously, half a century since humans last left the cradle of Earth and went out into deep space. That huge time gap really sets the stage for just how historic and, frankly, how challenging this next leap is going to be.
And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's not just about building a bigger rocket, no way. It's about this incredibly choreographed dance of technology, procedure, and human endurance that all has to come together perfectly at the exact right moment for launch.
So, when we talk about this final preparations phase, what are we really talking about? Well, this is it. This is the last, most critical stretch of a marathon that has been years and years in the making.
Think of this as the 1 to 2 month window where everything stops being a collection of separate parts and actually becomes a single integrated launch system. You know, the hardware, the software, and the human crew are all brought together for the last time before liftoff. It's the ultimate full-scale systems check.
And the goals during this time are just crystal clear. First up, you have to verify the life support systems can, support life. That's a big one. Then you validate every single step of the crazy complex launch sequence. After that, you protect the crew's health at all costs. And finally, you get that official certification of flight readiness. Every single one of those boxes has to get ticked, no exceptions.
All right, let's focus in on the most important and, let's be honest, the most fragile component of this entire mission, the astronauts themselves.
And here they are, 4 incredibly talented individuals who are carrying the hopes of this whole new era of exploration. Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen. Their safety is the absolute 100% non-negotiable top priority.
Just let that statement sink in for a second. The weight of it is immense. This is exactly why the pre-flight quarantine is so incredibly strict. A simple cold, something we just brush off, could jeopardize the entire multi-billion-dollar mission. I mean, can you imagine the psychological pressure? Being isolated right before the most intense journey of your life? And there are no backup crew members just waiting to swap in. So their health is the mission's readiness.
Okay, so we've talked about the crew. Now let's shift our focus to the colossal machine they'll be riding, the Space Launch System rocket, and the incredibly integral process of, well, waking that giant up.
You see, the final countdown isn't just a clock ticking down. It's a series of really strict, sequenced gates you have to pass through. It all starts when the crew enters quarantine. Then, you have the massive rocket rollout to the launch pad. And the final major test is what's called the wet dress rehearsal. You absolutely cannot skip a step. Each one has to be cleared perfectly before you can even think about proceeding to the next.
And to really feel the scale we're talking about, listen to this. During that wet dress rehearsal, the big practice run, controllers pump over 700,000 gallons of super cold, cryogenic liquid fuel into the rocket. We're talking hundreds of degrees below zero to keep it dense and powerful. It is a full-blown practice of the entire countdown, stopping just seconds before T0, all to make sure every single valve, every sensor, and every procedure works perfectly under the most extreme conditions.
So, you might be asking, who's running the show? Well, it's actually 2 elite teams in 2 completely different states. You've got the Launch Control Center in Florida. They're the masters of the rocket itself, the fueling, the pad, the whole countdown. But the second that rocket clears the tower, command is handed over to Mission Control in Houston, and they manage the rest of the 10-day journey through deep space.
All of this preparation, every single test, it all leads to one critical moment, the final, incredibly high-stakes decision to either go for launch or not.
So how is that decision made? Well, the process is layered for safety. It starts with something called the Flight Readiness Review, where managers from every single department have to give their go. Then, just days before liftoff, you have the Launch Readiness Review. And finally, on launch day itself, the ultimate authority rests with just one person, the launch director, who makes that final call based on real-time data from literally thousands of sensors.
But here's the crucial point, the thing to really understand about the NASA mindset. The entire system is built to make it easy to say, no, go. At NASA, finding a problem and stopping the launch isn't a failure, it's seen as a success of the process. The priority is never, ever the schedule, it's always the safety of the crew and the mission.
Okay, so now let's zoom out a bit. All of these incredibly meticulous preparations, they aren't just for one single flight.
No, they are laying the groundwork for the entire future of human space exploration.
So the most immediate impact of Artemis 2? It's all about proving this spacecraft, the Orion capsule, actually works. For the very first time, its life support, its radiation protection, its navigation systems, all of it will be put to the ultimate test by humans in the harsh, unforgiving environment beyond Earth's protective bubble.
And building right on top of that, a successful Artemis 2 is the mandatory prerequisite for everything that comes next. You simply cannot attempt to land humans on the moon with Artemis 3 until you've proven that they can safely travel there and back on Artemis 2. This mission is literally the gateway to putting boots back on the lunar surface.
And believe it or not, the impact stretches even further into the future. The safety protocols, the quarantine procedures, the recovery operations, everything being refined and proven right here and now will become the standard operating procedure, the rulebook, for the even more ambitious journeys to come, including sending the first humans to Mars.
So when you boil it all down, Artemis 2 is designed to answer a fundamental question. Can our technology keep humans safe on that long journey back to the moon? But its success is going to leave us with an even bigger question. We'll know we can survive the trip, but are we as a species ready to build a future out there? Are we ready to stay?